You did what every other dad in this world, I think, would do of two young girls, and it really underscores all the stuff that parents have to worry about this day and age.
What's going on, y'all? Man, it's King Cliff holding it down for the Cool Tip, man. I'm right back at you. And we're doing a quick update to a story that we brought before, that Sweet brought to the table, and we discussed about a father taking his kids, his two daughters, to a QT bathroom. And it was a woman's bathroom. And we had a discussion about, is it appropriate, this, and the third. And usually, a lot of times, I guess, most of the updates that we do, first of all, let me shout out to the people in the suite.
Hey, everyone.
That's what's up. Now, usually when we do updates, it's like, bringing new information, and this is that same situation. With this situation, though, there are a few new information things that may change things slightly. Perspective maybe wise. I don't know. Sweet, you want to kind of go into that real quick before we discuss it?
Yeah, I was wrong on the last video when I said the woman standing at the door was somebody that he had asked to watch the rush, to make sure no one came in. Mm-hmm. The man knocked on the door, announced that he had two small daughters, and came in because there was no one in. Mm-hmm. The woman at the door is actually the wife of the man who is yelling at him in front of his daughters. Mm-hmm. Apparently she was trying to get either his mom or her mom into the restroom and just did not feel comfortable with the man being in there with his daughters. Mm-hmm. It doesn't change my opinion on it. I still think he did nothing wrong. Mm-hmm. They could have given him the few minutes that he needed, and if not, they could have used the handicap stall. Mm-hmm. And it's not like he's got his daughters there. He's not trying to see your 80, 90-year-old mom.
And the door is open as well.
Yeah, so it doesn't change my stance on it, the new information that we found out.
Well, I'll say this. That part I agree with. The only thing that I'm saying that people could possibly change their opinion slightly on is the man's aggression. And women do this a lot of times, and this is not a trying to make fun or, do a man versus woman type of thing, but there are women in this world that can dramatize a situation and then the proverbial unleash their proverbial pit bull, and he just comes in hot. You feel what I'm saying? Because of how it's either described or the energy from the wife or the mother or whoever, and then he sees what he sees, and without content or context, he's like, yo, blah, 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 blah. You feel me? That happens more than you know. You feel me? More than we know. And a lot that we do know. You feel what I'm saying? People get killed over shit like that. You know what I'm saying? For real, just from like misunderstanding and the dramatics of one person, and then he goes to jail or dies, and she's off in the wind, and it was her fault. You feel me? So, and I know that's a dramatic version of it, but I can see. And was that his mother or wife?
Well, the one standing in the doorway was the man's wife.
Right. So
but apparently she was trying to take either her mother or his mother to the restroom. And
got you. So see, that's
when she came in, she saw the man in the restroom.
You see what I'm saying?
Daughters. Mm-hmm. And I guess went and told her husband.
Right.
Or tried to, maybe asked him to leave, and he asked for a minute to finish one. I don't know.
So that's where it shifts slightly, because in the original. And even now they're still kind of talking about it, they're looking at it as the man is over, being, foul towards this other man for no justifiable reason. And technically he is, but the reason he's doing it is not because, and this is why details matter. It's not because of technically what he's doing, it's because of the heat from the wife and maybe the mother, or just the acts, or just the fact of these are two of his women, right? And they're big in this scene.
Yeah, and then you come in. You're making that scene and doing that in front of this man's two small children.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying. I'm
two small women, little women.
Well, to make it worse, baby girls.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? Because he's really in there with his baby girls trying to do that.
So your argument about him, it's over his two women.
Well, because
It kind of no, because in my opinion, when there's
I'm sorry, go keep
two
talking,
small
sis.
kids, like it kind of still defeats your argument. It still makes you look,
No, yeah, because you know what? All right,
It didn't take them long to wash their hands.
right, and to go to your point, I'll say this: common sense is not common. So all they had to take was for him to calm down and look at the scenario, versus, and he had plenty of time. You know, from what we saw in the first video, he had plenty of time to do that. Now, look, there was a response from, and we're going to continue to talk about this in just a second. There was a response from the father, and I don't think it was on Fox News or something like that, where they went into more detail about this story. If you don't know, check it out.
Us through how this all went down.
Yeah, so, my daughters needed to go to the bathroom. We stopped at a quick trip, outside of Alabama on our way home to Oklahoma, and went into the women's restroom. I usually go in there, I knock and announce that I'm coming in with two girls, which at this time the bathroom was empty. So we're in there. This guy comes in, starts yelling, demanding that we need to leave. I should have taken them to the men's restroom, which I disagreed with. I've personally been in the men's restrooms. I just didn't feel like it was a good place to take two little girls. And so he was yelling, and I decided to set up my camera just in case anything happened, just to make sure everything was documented. And then that's when the police showed up afterwards when I stopped recording, and we pretty much went on our way after that.
Sure. As a father of two girls myself, I have one main question. That's the only question that really matters. How did the girls react?
Initially they were upset. They were scared. Seeing a grown man yelling like that at their dad and towards them, it's a scary thing for little girls. And I try to just do the best I could in the moment and keep them calm. And but I mean, they're doing well now.
Good. One of the things that this guy said was, you should have just trusted your girls with the female manager, a stranger to those girls. What did you make of that statement?
I can see where he may be coming from, but in this world, it's hard to trust a stranger with your kids. That's not something I'm comfortable with doing. I mean, not to say that she had any ill intentions but I'm not trusting a person I don't know to take my kids into a restroom.
You did what every other dad in this world, I think, would do of two young girls, and it really underscores all the stuff that parents have to worry about this day and age. You didn't need this guy freaked out about an empty women's room. I can't believe you remained as calm as you did, but that's a testament to you. It's going viral online. We thank you for joining us and starting this conversation, because, when you're in a situation like that, you got to do something, and your girls are the priority, not some guy who's overreacting. Tyler Brodsky, thank you, sir.
Look, you saw that, you heard that, and so like I was saying, though, before we went to that quick break, yes, you're right. To the point that he could have used common sense, his eyesight, and I was even saying that there was time for him to process. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't like it was a 30-second interaction. He had time to sit there, go back and forth, or not even go back and forth, but just
Argue with himself.
right, really. But even in that process, which should be the time where you actually have time to think, because you're not it's just you, right? But I'm not saying that that's not true. That the guy still may have overreacted. And even if I try to compromise and say the first 30 seconds may have been justified, but the remainder of that shit, you know what I'm saying? You just drew that out, right? And even if this is for the base of your wife, your kid, your mother or mother-in-law, that's where it goes into just too much barking. Right? Because you're not about to bite. Because if you was, you would have did something. Now you're just kind of showing off. But see, this is what I'm saying. Who are you showing off for? For the wife who came out hot. And if you don't come out, and this is how some people operate. If you don't come back hot, right, then they look at you like you did something wrong, when you should be the neutralizer and evaluate the situation, because how you react gonna determine a lot, right? So you can't go blindly into it and just say, oh, because she said da 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 da. Go look to see what the fuck going on. Take a breather, monitor the shit, and then be like, make your decision from there.
I still stand on if it was a bathroom emergency, and there's nobody in there but him and his two daughters. They're washing their hands. They're not going to be in there long. If she can't wait, because I do believe it was because the older, either the mom or the mother-in-law needed to use the restroom. There's a handicap stall.
Right.
There's doors on these stalls.
You could have put her in. Yeah, I heard what you're saying.
This man is not paying you or your mother or mother-in-law any mind. He's washing his kids' hands.
Furthermore, it's not like he's standing at the sink by himself like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been waiting for you. And your mama. He's in there actively doing it. But I think we said in the other one, that's why many people take their kid with them to whatever prospective bathroom to avoid these type of opposite sex interactions.
Also, any woman that has commented, for the most part, has said they don't believe that the dad did anything wrong.
He didn't. But see, it's about energy and character too, though. You could tell he's not in there. You could tell how he's coming across. You could tell even the stoicness of how he didn't react and just kept taking care of his baby girls, and had to keep them calm. So it just makes it different. He didn't come across creepy. He wasn't in there doing no creepy shit. He wasn't like he was in the cut waiting, pouncing out of stuff. You feel me? All the things that you would think of a threat, he wasn't doing except for actually being in there. But the threat even lessens because he's in there with two children and he's not doing nothing creepy with these. You see what I'm saying?
Somebody even asked him why he just didn't let the daughters go with the female manager.
Yeah, I saw that.
To me, I'm not sending my child or children. I mean, not everybody is a creep.
Right.
But you don't know that woman.
And you're right.
And it's not even that she could be a creep. She could be she could kidnap your kids.
Right. Traffic. She could be.
Not only that, but let's say she's the
pedophile.
manager of that place, right? What if something happens and she has to step away?
Right.
Because that is her business. That's the,
But see, I would think that, and not to, we are playing devil's advocate, but not to really do it hard. They would put that part, whatever happens, unless it's a fire or the store about to blow up, they would put the children
I
on
understand.
the
I'm
priority.
just saying
But I'll give you the scenario or something.
I'm reaching for, as a manager, I get called to, I call myself the female Stretch Armstrong, or Wonder Woman, because they think I could be everywhere all at once.
Right. I thought that was a little big. You know what I'm saying?
But,
a little jab at your home thing.
So there's so many different scenarios of why I would never send my kid off or kids with someone, even a woman manager that I don't know.
And it's a different time, man. I do remember when I was younger, there might be situations like, we're at church or something, and my mom was in the choir stand, or, you know what I'm saying? I believe there was a time and place where you could kind of want to trust the, manager figure to do something simple like, you know what I'm saying, that. And they would have a respectful distance. It's not like they're in there like, let me unzip your pants and shit. You know what I'm saying? Let me hold it for you. You know what I'm saying? There would be a respectful distance and you kind of felt comfortable with it. But that's a dead time back then. And even back then, there was crazy shit.
Oh, yeah.
So now it's real. And he said it himself. He did both sides of the coin. He said that it's not that he thinks that the person or the manager would do something, but it, like we just said, it's a different day and time. You don't know what a motherfucker would do, and it's your responsibility to not put your children in that type of situation. But this is a tough one though, still, because it's like three options, and I still stand on this is because you just don't know who's gonna carry out, who's gonna trip out, who's gonna get triggered, who's gonna do this, that, or the third, all over some simple, stupid shit. And it could have been kind of avoided, but his moral stance on it was I think yours, and whereas he just didn't feel comfortable taking his daughters into the men's bathroom, and because he wasn't doing anything wrong. But it's tricky, man, because I don't know if I said this last time, but you don't know who has scars and wounds in Ocean League. You know what I mean? You don't, for real, God forbid, a person just had a situation 2 days before. They trying to pull it together. You get what I'm saying? and then they walk in and the first thing they see is a man in the woman's bathroom. You see what I'm saying? That chick's gonna lose her fucking mind. So I'm not saying justifiably so, but justifiably so still because of her trauma, her fresh wounds, but they will both be right there, because two things could be right at the same time. You dig what I'm saying? Her reaction is based off of what she experienced. His reaction, or what he's doing, is because of the convenience and the safety of his children. But this is why, I say, to eliminate all that shit, man, just take it away. That's just how I personally feel. Take them where you can go, because that's where the buck stops. You are the top of the totem pole, shit goes downhill. Everything you do, domino effects to your children. You feel me? This could have been eliminated by you going into the men's bathroom, sheltering, like you said, handicap stall. Like, some camps, like a racetrack has a handicap stall with the sink in it. Mm-hmm. You do what I'm saying? So you could have took your baby girls into that handicap stall in the men's bathroom, isolated them to avoid from any, bullshit. Guarded that, did that, left, right? Because when they attacked him, then that trickled down to his children crying, watching him get attacked because of them. And we talked about this. Like, now they can feel guilty. They can, you see what I'm saying? And all you had to do was just make another decision.
I understand, but I still think he was 100% right.
No, I don't even think at this point it's to think about if he's right or wrong. You know what I mean? Because he's right, because he's a good father. He's doing the thing right. It's just, what would have been a better decision? That's better than saying right or wrong?
Yeah.
What would have been a decision that could have stopped all this shit? An easier decision. You feel me? And maybe for him it wouldn't be, because that's not his thinking. It would be a hard decision for him thinking wise. But I'm saying better, because you got to think chess, not checkers, not step at a time. What would be the best ending result from this one action? You feel me? But yeah, that's how I feel. Anything else?
No, that's all.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So look, man, I appreciate you tuning in. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe, man. Catch us at the Cool Table 1.0 as well. Always at the 1.0 AH. Also check out T the Teacher, and we'll catch all your cool kids at the Cool Table next time. Deuces.